Now let's discuss the last compartment, that is the adductor compartment of the thigh, or it is also called as the medial compartment of the thigh. So in this picture, if you see here, this is the anterior compartment, this is the femur here, this is the cross section of the thigh, the anterior compartment, this is the posterior compartment, this is the medial compartment which is towards the medial side. The muscles of this compartment are 6 in number. One is the pectineus, second is the adductor longus, adductor brevis, adductor magnus, obturator externus, as well as the gracchalis. These are the 6 muscles which constitutes this compartment. So there are 6 muscles within this compartment. The nerve supply to all these muscles is by obturator nerve. So the nerve of this compartment is obturator nerve. And the main action of these muscles, as the name indicates, the adductor compartment. So all these muscles help in adduction of the thigh. So here we can see the picture where all the muscles of the adductor compartment can be seen. So here this is the adductor longus muscle. Here is the adductor brevis. This can be seen much more clear. Here is the adductor brevis, and the behind the big muscle is called as the adductor magnus. In this picture, if you can see, the whole muscle is the adductor magnus with a lot of perforations for the branches of the deep artery of the thigh. And apart from that, you can also see the pectineus here, as well as this is the obturator externus. And the most medial here will be the gracchalis, which is not seen in this picture, but we can imagine here will be the presence of gracchalis. So these are 6 muscles of this compartment. Coming to the origin and insertion of these muscles, the first muscle is the adductor brevis. This muscle will be taking origin from the, so here you can see here this is the adductor brevis. This will be taking origin from the pubis, from the inferior pubic ramus. So the pubis has 2 ramus, superior as well as the inferior pubic ramus. So this muscle will be, the adductor brevis will be taking origin from the inferior ramus of the pubis and get inserted to the medial ridge of the linea aspera. If you see here, so this muscle will go towards the femur and it gets inserted to the linea aspera on the medial ridge or medial lip of the linea aspera. The second muscle is the adductor longus. So here again, if you see here, this is the adductor longus muscle. So this will be taking origin from the front side of the pubic bone under the pubic tubercle. If you see here, so here will be the pubic tubercle, this is the pubic crust, this is the pubic symphysis between the 2 bones. So this is the pubic tubercle. Just below the pubic tubercle, it will be taking origin from the body of the pubis. And the insertion will be again to the medial ridge of the linea aspera. So this muscle also get inserted to the medial ridge of the linea aspera. This is the adductor longus muscle here. This is the adductor brevis and this is the longus. The adductor longus is in the front and due to that is the adductor brevis. Then the third muscle, that is the adductor magnus. As the name indicates, it is huge muscle, big muscle, and it has a very big insertion. So this muscle will be taking origin from the inferior pubic ramus as well as the tuberosity of the ischium. So if you see here, so this is the inferior pubic ramus. As I said, it has the pubis has 2 rami, actually when it is plural it should be rami. So superior pubic ramus as well as inferior pubic ramus. So this muscle magnus will be taking origin from the inferior pubic ramus as well as from the inferior the ramus of the ischium, as well as the small part even to the, it goes up to the tuberosity of the ischium. So this ramus is called as the ischiopubic ramus. So this muscle will be taking origin from this ischiopubic ramus, and the insertion will be again to the medial ridge of the linea aspera and the adductor tubercle. It extends all the way from above downwards from the on the medial lip of the linea aspera, and it goes all the way up to, there is a very prominent tubercle here that is called as the adductor tubercle. because this the adductor magnus is attached to this, that's what is called as the adductor tubercle, and this muscle will be getting inserted all the way in the linea aspera from above downwards and goes up to the adductor tubercle. The next muscle is the pectineus. The pectineus, as you can see here in this picture, this is the pectineus muscle. This will be taking origin from the pectineal line as well as get inserted to the pectineal line. So here, if you can see here, there is a line here on the pubis. This is called as the pectineal line. So this muscle will be taking origin from this pectineal line, as well as it get inserted to one more pectineal line which is present in the femur, which is also called as the spiral line. So it get inserted to the spiral line, or it is also called as the pectineal line. So it takes origin from the pectineal line of the hip bone and get inserted to the pectineal line of the femur, or the spiral line of the femur. Coming to the gracchalis, as I said, it will be the most medial muscle here. It will be present here on either side, or here it will be present. So this muscle will be taking origin from the inferior pubic ramus, as you can see again. So it will be taking origin from here. So it will be the inferior pubic ramus and get inserted to the tibia. There is something called a pes anserinus on the tibia. So it get inserted to the tibia, medial side of the tibia. Okay. Then coming to the last muscle, that is the obturator externus. So this is the obturator externus. This will be taking origin here. There will be a foramen called as the obturator foramen. So it is covered by a membrane called as the obturator membrane, and this muscle will be taking origin from the obturator membrane. So this muscle, as I said, obturator externus, will be taking origin from the lateral surface of the obturator membrane. From the medial surface, there is one more muscle taking origin, that is called as the obturator internus. Okay, so this will be taking origin from the lateral surface of the obturator membrane, which is present on the obturator foramen, and it also takes origin from the ischiopubic ramus. Some part will be also taking origin not only from the foramen, the membranes of the foramen, but also a small part from this ischiopubic ramus. This is called as the ischiopubic ramus. So it will be taking origin from the ischiopubic ramus and get inserted to the trochanteric fossa in the greater trochanter. If you can see, this will be going behind and get inserted to the trochanteric fossa in the greater trochanter. This is the greater trochanter of the femur. This is the lesser trochanter of the femur. So it get inserted to the greater trochanter of the femur. So this is about the origin and insertion of this muscle, and you know already the nerve supply is by the obturator nerve, and the action is the adduction of this thigh. Now coming to the obturator nerve, which will be supplying this compartment, that is the adductor compartment. So the obturator nerve, as I said, is the chief nerve of the adductor compartment or the medial compartment of the thigh. And the formation, you can see here, this is the picture which shows the formation. This is the lumbar plexus and you can see the formation of the femoral nerve here. So this is from the root values of L2, L3 and L4. Similarly, the origin of the obturator nerve is also from the same root values L2, L3 and L4. The only difference between these two is this obturator nerve is formed by the ventral division and the femoral nerve is formed by the dorsal division. So dorsal means posterior. So the actually, even though the femoral nerve supplies the anterior compartment of thigh, because the thigh has rotated and the posterior compartment of the arm is compared with the anterior compartment of the leg, so the nerves from the posterior compartment, the dorsal nerves, will be actually supplying the anterior compartment of the thigh. So that is by the femoral nerve, which is formed by the dorsal division. And the ventral division, ventral means anterior division, so this will be supplying the posterior compartment of the actually the medial compartment of the thigh, which has, again, as I said, because of the rotation, this will be the medial compartment will be supplied by the anterior division or the ventral division. So this obturator nerve, you should remember, is formed by the same root values as that of the femoral nerve L2, L3 and L4, but this is by the ventral division of the anterior primary rami of the spinal nerves L2, L3 and L4. What are the branches and distribution? So the branches, as you already seen, it will be supplying all the 6 muscles of the adductor compartment, that is the pectineus, adductor longus, brevis, magnus, as well as gracchalis, as well as the obturator externus. And cutaneous branches, it will be supplying a small area on the medial side of the thigh. If you can see here, this is the area supplied by the obturator nerve on the skin. So this is the cutaneous supply of this obturator nerve. So here you can see this is the obturator nerve. This is the formation of the obturator nerve from the L2, L3 and L4. So these are the ventral divisions which are joined together from L2, L3, L4, going descending downwards into the pelvis, and from there supplying all the muscles of the adductor compartment. On the other side, you can see the dorsal division of from the L2, L3, L4, which form the femoral nerve, and it supplies the anterior compartment. And here you can see this is the cross section of the thigh, and you can see this is the medial compartment, and this is the gracchalis muscle, which I was talking about, the most medial muscle. This is the gracchalis muscle which crosses the knee joint and get inserted to the medial side of the tibia. So these are the other muscles of the adductor compartment. This is the adductor longus, brevis, and behind will be the adductor magnus, and here you can see the pectineus, and here will be the obturator externus, which cannot be seen clearly here in this picture, but here you can see here this is the obturator externus. So this is about the muscles of the adductor compartment as well as the nerve supplying the adductor compartment. Now, apart from these muscles as well as nerve in the compartment, adductor compartment, there is also something called as the adductor canal. So this is also called as the subsartorial canal, or it is also called as the Hunter's canal. So if you remember the femoral triangle, this is the femoral triangle which is in the front of thigh. It has a base which is toward the inguinal ligament, and the apex directed downwards. So the apex is not totally sharp, but it is blunt, and it opens into a canal called as the adductor canal. So this is the adductor canal. So all the contents which are there in the femoral triangle, they will be either descending downwards, or some of the structures will be going upwards. So this canal will be connecting the femoral triangle with the popliteal fossa here. So the contents will be from the femoral triangle will be descending into the popliteal fossa, or some of the structures from the popliteal fossa, they will be going into the femoral triangle. So the extent of this, as I said, this adductor canal extends from the apex of the femoral triangle to tendinous opening in the adductor magnus. In the adductor magnus, if you have observed before, there is a large opening here. This is called as the adductor hiatus. So here you can see here. So there is a large opening here. This is called as the adductor hiatus, and this is the opening of the adductor canal into the popliteal fossa. So it begins from the apex of the femoral triangle, and it opens into the popliteal fossa through the adductor hiatus. The shape, it is almost triangular in shape when you take a cross section. So this is how it looks like. If you take cross section of this part, then you can see this is how the adductor canal will look like. So what are the boundaries? Because it is a triangle, so it should have 3 boundaries. The first boundary is the anterior boundary, or the anterior wall, which is formed by the vastus medialis. So this is the muscle here which form the anterior boundary for this triangle. So this is the vastus medialis. Posteriorly, or the floor is formed by the adductor longus muscle here, as well as the adductor magnus below. Okay, so this is the adductor longus which will be forming the floor above, and the adductor magnus will form the floor below. And medially, or towards the roof, there is a strong fibrous membrane stretching across the anterior and posterior walls, and over it lies the sartorius. So there is a strong fibrous membrane stretching from the vastus medialis up to the adductor longus. Over that is the sartorius, and in between these two there is something called as the subsartorial plexus of nerves. So if you can see here, there is a plexus. This is called as the subsartorial plexus between the sartorius and this strong fibrous membrane. So what is the subsartorial plexus? This subsartorial plexus lies between the fibrous roof and sartorius, and it is a plexus formed by branches from the medial cutaneous nerve of thigh, the saphenous nerve, as well as the anterior division of the obturator nerve. So these three nerves will be forming a plexus that is called as the subsartorial plexus. It supplies the overlying fascia lata as well as the neighboring skin. So it will not only supply the neighboring skin but also the overlying fascia lata. So this is the plexus which is present between the sartorius as well as the strong fibrous membrane. So this is the roof of this triangle. So here again you can see here is the adductor canal which is connecting the femoral triangle with the popliteal fossa below through the adductor hiatus. So what are the contents of this adductor canal? One is the femoral artery, the second is the femoral vein. You can see in this picture the femoral artery in the cross section, and this is the femoral vein. Here you can see the femoral artery, and behind that is the femoral vein. Then the long saphenous nerve, and here also you can see in the cross section the long saphenous nerve. Then the nerve to vastus medialis. So here also you can see the nerve to vastus medialis, and two divisions of the obturator nerve. So here are the anterior and posterior divisions of the obturator nerve. So this is the structures viewed from the front, and this is the view of the same adductor canal when you take the cross section. So this is the arrangement of the structures in the adductor canal. So the femoral artery will be conveying from the femoral triangle into the popliteal fossa, and the femoral vein will be coming from the popliteal fossa as the popliteal vein and enters the adductor canal and continues as the femoral vein into the femoral triangle. Along with that, the saphenous nerve, nerve to vastus medialis, as well as two divisions of the obturator nerve can also be traced here. So this adductor canal is a very important passage for the structures from the femoral triangle into the popliteal fossa, and from the popliteal fossa back into the femoral triangle. Okay, so these are some of the important contents of this femoral adductor canal which make it so important. Coming to the last part, that is the applied aspects. The femoral artery is ligated in cases of the popliteal artery aneurysm. In these cases, if you see the femoral artery is to be ligated, especially the popliteal artery is prone for the aneurysms, and it has to be tied. This is the area in the adductor canal where the femoral artery can be easily traced, and it can be easily ligated in this region. So this is one of the important applied aspect related to the contents of the adductor canal. The femoral artery, if it is to be ligated, and this is the site where it can be easily caught hold of, as well as it can be tied. So this is all about the adductor canal itself. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. So thank you very much.